Stay tuned to PBS 39 as we focus on Easton. Home to the nation's longest continuously running open-air market, Easton is now home to the public market, offering farm fresh foods and artisanal goods year-round. We'll give you a taste of this new local attraction. Then we tour the newly redeveloped Simone Silk Mill and learn about the region's history in the textile industry. These stories plus Lafayette expands from College Hill to Center Square, and the Da Vinci Science Center plans to make a splash with a new aquarium. Find out what's new and what's coming to Easton right now on Focus. Focus is for our community.
Focus showcases the people,
The places and the issues that matter to you.
Focus on what matters.
You never know what you're going to see when you tune into Focus.
Support for Focus is provided by Univest, Banking, Insurance, Investments, Fellowship Community, Continuing Care with Spirit, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Laura McHugh, broadcasting from the PPL Public Media Center at PBS 39. In this episode, we focus on Easton. Located at the forks of the Lehigh and Delaware Rivers, Easton was founded in 1752, and today more than 25,000 people call the city home. Focus reporter Brittany Garzillo recently toured one of the city's major redevelopment projects and joins us now. Brittany?
Yeah, thank you, Laura. The Lehigh Valley was home to more than 100 silk mills during the 20th century. One of those mills was the Simone Silk Mill, located on 13th Street in Easton. In its heyday, the textile manufacturer employed more than 1,000 people. Decades after its demise, the once bustling buildings, for the most part, remained vacant until recently.
Chin up slightly right there. There it is. Nice.
Photographer Elaine Zelker has a passion for capturing people on camera.
There you go. The biggest reward in photography is capturing somebody's true self. That's awesome, right there.
In her 1,000 square foot studio, she shoots and edits photos. Upstairs, she showcases portraits that are part of her new series called Captured by Zelker.
It's my more fine art photography for women, where they come in and it's like a playground here in my new studio where they can choose from my outfits that I have. I'll recreate the gowns a little bit, whether I throw flowers on them.
Zelker is one of several business owners to occupy a newly renovated space inside Building J of Easton's Simone Silk Mill.
I'm excited that I'm bringing textiles back to the silk mill where sewing was happening years ago.
Located on more than a dozen acres along 13th Street in Easton's West Ward, the Simone Silk Mill was built in 1833 by German immigrants and brothers Robert and Herman Simone. In its heyday, the textile manufacturer once employed more than 1,200 people and about 1,500 pieces of machinery, according to Brittany Merriam, senior curator for the Northampton County Historical and Genealogical Society.
What a lot of people don't actually realize is that the Lehigh Valley, during its heyday at the turn of the 20th century, was probably the second largest producer of silk in the world.
According to Miriam, the mill shut down in the late 1960s due to a number of factors, including the competition of synthetic materials. According to Easton Mayor Sal Panto, it occupied a few tenants over the years, but for the most part, remained vacant.
My mother worked in one of those mills, so it's kind of near and dear to my heart. In 2008, when I got in office and we looked at this project in this magnificent building that was just filled with junk, the first thing we knew we had to do was clean it out. So we got dumpsters over there and city employees started cleaning it all out. And one day there's a knock on my office door and a young man comes in who works for the city and says, "Mayor, we found these in the old mill and we thought maybe you'd like to keep them."
They were his mother's time cards from the 1970s.
That was emotional because my mom had passed the year before.
According to Mayor Panto, the city of Easton received about $9 million in grants to get the property ready for development proposals. The winning bid, an Easton-based developer called VM Development Group.
But it really was in rough shape, and I'm glad we were able to save it. here we are. Can you believe it?
Mark Mulligan is the group's chief executive officer. He says the site includes 15 buildings and will be redeveloped in 4 phases. He took us on a tour of Phase 1, which includes part of Building N and Buildings J and K.
Come on in.
Building K includes 33 residential apartments.
It's taken a long time to get this far. A lot of complicated steps, but the windows are exact replicas of the windows that were here before, and you can see we even kept the existing trim that were around. The original trim is still there.
When complete, the site will include 160 residential units and about 150,000 square feet of commercial space. Physical construction began in August of 2015 and is expected to be complete by 2018. According to Mayor Panto, the $100 million project is located within a Keystone Opportunity Zone, which allows residents and business owners to receive state and local tax incentives until 2023.
It's really starting to be its own little community there. It's pretty exciting.
We knew we wanted to be somewhere as a growing business that had a ton of people and had more exposure and just kind of fit the vibe that we were going for. And we saw it, we're like, yep, this is it, we love it.
Business owner Alicia Becker echoes Mulligan's enthusiasm. Becker is the head makeup artist for Alicia Nicole & Co., a team of traveling hair and makeup artists based in Building J.
This is not a job, this is not just something that we happen to offer, that this is a passion. Only correcting the areas that need correction is like the best way to just look like a supermodel.
Born and raised in Easton, Becker became a certified makeup artist at 12 years old and opens the doors to her 600 square foot studio to brides and clients looking for a little glam.
You just look at someone and you start seeing their color palette and you see a way that to bring out their best features, you start appreciating all the beautiful things on their face. Oh my God!
Meanwhile, Mulligan says the makeover of the mill remains a work in progress. He expects the first phase to be complete by the spring of 2017.
The Silk Mill project is the project that I'm most proud of. The Silk Mill was a sleeping giant that we awakened, and it's just blossoming into a great, great project.
One that breathes life into a mill, woven with history. For Focus, I'm Brittany Garzillo, reporting.
Thank you, Brittany. Founded in 1826, Lafayette College sits upon 340 acres on a hill overlooking the city of Easton. In recent years, it's expanded beyond College Hill, including new spaces next to the city's center square. To describe the college's latest endeavor, we welcome John O'Keefe, a college vice president and chief information officer. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the new space in the Alpha Building. Tell our viewers about what they'll now find in that space.
So in the Alpha Building, we have 3 floors occupied. We have admissions, there's a Center for Community Engagement, my division, which is IT, and our communications group. And each floor is just a really beautifully done, modern office workspace. We have a Pac-Man, which is a lot of fun. But it's just a great, open, light workspace, and we're really happy to be there.
This is in the offices that were formerly occupied by the mayor's office as well as the city council chambers. What was the idea behind moving down from College Hill directly into downtown Easton?
Sure. Well, so when we heard that the city was going to build its new city hall and the bus station, at that point, several years ago, began thinking about perhaps this move. What really crystallized it for us is the college's new strategic direction. So we're working on this affordability and distinction through growth project. And part of that really has to do with growing the college to make it more accessible and more affordable for more students. In order for us to do that, we need to create more capacity on campus. And while we can build lots of things on campus, there's a lot of opportunity to move downtown, lots of really nice office space. And so this all just started to come together in the past couple of years. And we were really, interested in building that connection with the city as well. So it was this wonderful opportunity where the college could do something that was really important and strategic to where it's going, but it was also really important with respect to the college's longstanding relationship with the city and improving that. So it was really beneficial on both sides.
And this is the latest in a major step that was taken several years ago to expand the Williams Arts Campus right at the base of College Hill.
Yes, that's right. So in the mid-1990s, our President Rothkopf at the time, working with Thomas Goldsmith, who was the mayor, a Lafayette alum, and others in the community, began to think about what we were calling our gateway. So sort of as you come to the college, if you're familiar with Easton, you go up College Hill, that corridor where the Arts Campus now stands was sort of an important entryway for people coming into the campus to visit, prospective students, things like that. It was a really long project in its own right over the years with some private-public partnerships, working with the governor's office at the time. Governor Rendell worked with President Weiss of Lafayette College to acquire grant funding, which established an arts trail, which connects the Silk Mill to the Arts Campus. So a lot of that energy started in the mid-90s. The Visual Arts Building, which was the first building at the bottom of the hill, opened in 2000. And it was, you know, also a building that had an important community aspect. So one of the things about Easton is its rich art community, and having our art program down there enabled our art faculty to work more closely with area high schools and do community art projects as well. So there's always been, whenever the college moves into the city or deeper into the city, an important programmatic connection between the city, the college, and that mutual relationship that we have.
We've covered the arts. What's new in the sciences?
We think that, you know, STEM is an important area for our students with the engineering program as well. So the new science facility, the Integrated Sciences Center, we're calling it, will be a very, very big project for us, probably one of the biggest we've done in recent history. But it's going to create a wonderful new opportunity for collaborative interdisciplinary science study in the liberal arts context, which is what we do best.
John, thank you so much, and congratulations on the expansions.
Thank you.
For our next story, we meet some of John's new neighbors located a block away in the Easton Public Market. For a taste of what you'll find in this attraction, we turn to Focus reporter Grover Silcox. Grover?
Located in what was originally Green's department store, the Easton Public Market opened for business in April of 2016 and offers farm fresh foods from local growers, restaurateurs, and culinary craftspeople. If you travel west of Easton Center Square, home to the nation's oldest open-air farmers market, you'll find Easton's indoor public market, where more than a dozen vendors sell their farm-fresh organic foods.
We wanted to make this into kind of an artisanal grocery with some, you know, hip modern dining options. So you have an old world butcher, fishmonger, and chocolatier, alongside exciting dining concepts like the Valley's first Asian noodle bar, or craft beer and wood-fired pizza and barbecue.
We can tell you exactly where each ingredient, for the most part, comes from.
Brian Bruno, owner of Apple Ridge Farm in Saylorsburg, teamed up with Shawnee Craft Brewery, a local brewer, to open Scratch, a pizzeria with wood-fired brick oven pizza.
It's their beer and our food. We source organic flour that is from farmer-owned mills. We bring arugula that goes on top of pizzas. We try to, as much as possible, always put what's on season on our products.
Shawnee Craft Brewery shows the same care with its beer.
They feature a lot of local things in their beer, so that they'll actually grow their own pumpkins for their pumpkin beer. They make their apiaries is their honey beer they make with honey from my farm.
Brian also opened Bard and Broody Bake Shop.
The fresher the flour, the better product it produces.
Baker Rebecca Keller makes and prepares most of the baked goods on site.
They jiggle, that means they're good to go.
We found a self-proclaimed cookie lover to test one of the shop's signature cookies, the dark chocolate crinkle.
And it is crinkly. I like it.
For another sweet experience, folks line up at Choco Diem, where chocolatier J.P. Hepp invites customers to experience his chocolates.
We sell happiness. That's what we want. We want the smile of everyone.
Last year, Dessert Professional magazine voted JP among the top 10 chocolatiers in North America.
That's our Oscar. Truly.
JP and his staff hand-make between 1,000 and 5,000 truffles and pralines a week, depending on the season.
The good chocolate should be under your tongue, let it melt. Slowly indulge it, take it in for a while, it will linger, which is a good chocolate by itself. But it's also the looks of it. They call it a sheen, like a shine.
He adds no preservatives and uses less sugar than commercial manufacturers.
chocolate should be healthy. Our chocolate, dark chocolate, has no lactose and is vegan. The beans you can eat too, which is full of antioxidants.
JP's artists and designers hand paint, package, and present his chocolates as objects of art.
Whatever is chocolate will do it.
While JP entices chocolate lovers to his counter, Arvid's Danielson's attracts meat eaters to Dundor and Heister, the market's butcher shop.
We build relationships with farmers from right here in Pennsylvania, where all of our animals come from. We spend a lot of time taking care of how the animals are raised. So they're 100% grass-fed.
Folks looking for fresh vegetables to complement that steak will find them at the Highmark Farm Stand.
The majority of produce that you find in the farm stand in season will be locally sourced, and outside of that we look for sustainable sources wherever possible.
The Greater Easton Development Partnership, which operates the farm stand, is the nonprofit organization that created the 14,000 square foot public market with help from the city at a cost of $2.7 million.
This building has a rich history in terms of retail, going back to a general store back in the 1800s. So it's really nice to see it alive and thriving with retail and business once again.
Since its opening, the market has drawn visitors and praise for its part in Easton's redevelopment.
We have live music in here, we have Dine with the Chef nights, we have children that come in for cooking classes. We're looking to do some kind of dinner and a movie events in the coming year.
I love how they styled it. It's very farm to table, which is where kind of so many things are heading.
It's a magnet for people to come, and once they come, they can see the rest of the city.
Easton's public market offers a taste of the city's growing menu of attractions. For Focus, I'm Grover Silcox reporting.
Thank you, Grover. I'm now joined by Lynn Erickson, Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Da Vinci Science Center. I was going to say in Allentown, but soon we'll have to change that. Tell us about what's being planned for Easton.
This is a really exciting time. Thank you so much for having me, Laura. For Easton, we're looking at the potential of a major science center and aquarium project, which we're for now calling Da Vinci Science City. And the really big idea is to bring exciting science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities to young people and families throughout the region and beyond.
Is there anything in our region that we could even compare it to?
No, there's nothing. And I think this is a tremendous opportunity for us in the Lehigh Valley to support educating our young people, partnering with schools, as well as the potential to have kids explore careers and new opportunities. You know, our major new exhibit areas in this facility will be around the topics of industry, science and industry, and that's really all about manufacturing and getting kids and families introduced to manufacturing in a hands-on way that ties with their school curriculum. One of the other major exhibit areas will be Science and Me, and it's all about public health and how we can be more healthy ourselves, but what are the latest and greatest technologies out there. And then the third exhibit area is Science and Nature. And of course, that gets you right into the aquarium, as well as topics like energy and the environment. So these are all areas that are important, as I said, in our school curriculum, but they're also really important in terms of job opportunities for young people, family-sustaining jobs. Having said that, let me say also that the most important thing that we do is kids have fun and families have fun, so we make science engaging and approachable. And an aquarium is kind of the next step to allow that to happen. Families who don't have a scientist or engineer in the family, or kids sometimes are a little hesitant about the hard sciences, you know, the engineering and the physical sciences and the chemistry and some of the topics that are often addressed in science centers. If we can draw people in with an aquarium and then introduce them to hands-on science, I think it will be very powerful.
Now, this is an expansion, not necessarily a relocation. Your concept is to continue operating the center that you currently have in Allentown.
Absolutely. We're going to continue operating. In fact, we announced, or we opened earlier this month, a major new energy area, the PPL Energy Zone. We're opening in March a major new preschool area, and we plan to continue to invest in exciting exhibit experiences at that location. Over time, we'll drop the age level, so that will become like a children's museum, but still focused on science. The focus is science, and potentially we might even explore having a preschool associated with that facility, so you have a really center of excellence for early childhood education. But in terms of our families and visitors and the viewers, it's ongoing membership programs, bringing in traveling exhibits, family special programming on the weekends, as we have become accustomed to.
So tell us about the site that you're considering in Easton.
Okay, the site we're considering is the current, and it's happening. I mean, the mayor has an agreement of sale with the owners of the Days Inn property. So that is right at the entrance to the city. If you're coming from 78, it's about 1.4 miles, I think, to be pretty precise. And then you come in under the overpass, and there you are to the right is the confluence of the Delaware and the Lehigh Rivers and Larry Holmes Drive. Straight ahead of you is the Days Inn. Behind that is the new City Hall. And you're within walking distance of Crayola. So if you come to downtown Easton, it's going to be all about families and lots of fun for families, and of course the food and all the great festivals that they have going on. But if you park once, you'll only need to park once to go to Crayola, to go to the festivals downtown, to go to the new Science Center and Aquarium.
How much of a financial commitment will this take?
This is, right now, our best estimates are that this is a $130 million project. The mayor has committed to fund 25% of the project up to $30 million. So that is the first step. Now we're working to build additional support, both public and private. We've done a lot of homework exploring, the possibilities. And this next year, so we're in a feasibility planning period, exploring the feasibility of a project of this scale in the Lehigh Valley. And the main goal of that period is to see if we can raise 65%, 2/3 of the funding for the project. And if we can get to that point, it's kind of a go. If you know anything about the campaigns, it's the silent phase in securing the major support. If we can get to that point, then we can see how we can do a typical private campaign, and there's federal money like new market tax credits. We can see where we can get the rest of the way there. So that's the main focus. Now, in the meantime, we'll be doing a lot more homework the next year, fine-tuning the attendance estimates, marketing studies, business plans, more renderings. The rendering that you're sharing with the audience is an artist's rendering, so we need to get an architect who's built aquariums. Potentially it could be a whole team of architects to look at conceptually how we might really lay it out and what are the exact rooms and spaces we really need. An exhibit plan to get people excited. We've talked, our staff has been working already on some of the big ideas for exhibit experiences, but we need to get some professional folks in to really look at how we might lay that out and what those experiences might be.
And you hope to potentially open as early as 2021?
2021 would be the goal.
Thank you so much, Lynn, for sharing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Until then, remember to focus on what matters.
This program is recorded at the PPL Public Media Center at PBS 39 in Bethlehem.